What's going on, FUD Nation, and welcome back. Today we are doing, I think, a video that a lot of people enjoy, which is a list video. People love lists. What can I say? Anyway, today we're going to be talking about the top 10 coins that I'm going to be looking forward to performing exceptionally well throughout 2019. That's not to say that coins in general are going to perform exceptionally well in 2019. Right now, we're pretty much faced with the reality that the market is moving in unison. Despite what progress any one project might be making as far as technological advances that's going to advance the whole cryptocurrency movement and blockchain movement, that's not necessarily indicative of price right now. Regardless of the bear trend that we're stuck in, and there's not really any evidence that we're out of that bear trend yet, I'm just going to say that these 10 coins, I think, are poised to have phenomenal years relatively as we approach a future of cryptocurrency, whether that's in 6, 12, 18 months. These are coins that are going to be poised for true breakouts and dominance within the space. Now, let's get to the list. First, let's talk about Loom Network. Now, Loom Network has had an exceptional last few months. If you don't know about Loom, they're essentially building a layer 2 solution or multiple layer 2 solutions on the Ethereum blockchain. Loom is focused, primarily on gaming. And to that extent, they're actually publishing their own game, Zombie Battlegrounds, which you can play right now. And they have currently 3 side chains to Ethereum that are in production, one of which is currently live. This is a very interesting project. And what I like almost more than anything about Loom is their desire to not focus on marketing so much as building, development, and just putting stuff out there in the world. They don't even have a white paper. They say no white papers, just products or something like that. But it's a really cool project, and that's why they're making my top 10 list. They've also recently been added to Coinbase, and there's no reason to expect that they're going to slow down anytime soon. Number 2 on my list is, of course, Binance, the great behemoth in the exchange space. By far the number 1 exchange, and partly what fueled that was their ability to add tons of coins that people wanted. They were like the Walmart of coins. You could get anything you wanted there. But now there's more and more exchanges that have sort of picked up on that and started to add tons and tons of assets. But for the most part, Binance is still the world's number 1 favorite place to exchange digital assets. That doesn't seem to be slowing down per se. More importantly, they're going to be launching their own decentralized exchange via their very own blockchain, the BNB blockchain. Binance is certainly not relinquishing their number 1 spot as far as exchange for digital assets, and they're only expanding their vision to be even more dominant and more important in the world of cryptocurrency. Next on the list is Cardano. And by the way, if I didn't say this already, this isn't in any particular order. All of these projects are cool in their own way. I think ranking them per se is a bit silly, so I'm just talking about 10 projects that I really like for 2019. The next project is Cardano. Cardano is certainly one of the most talked about, most hyped up projects, and of course, they have a lot to deliver on as there's a lot of expectation for the quality of their project. The leader, Charles Hoskinson, was a co-founder of Ethereum. They have this theory of academic peer-reviewed code, really trying to elevate the standards for, decentralized networks in this world of blockchain. So if they're able to successfully create some of the best, most scalable, most accessible, most useful blockchain infrastructure, then we can expect a lot from a young Cardano project. Now, they have yet to really deliver on a lot, and they have barely even gotten support for hardware wallets. And the way that they're organizing their project can somewhat times be a bit confusing and overwhelming, but hopefully the next 6 to 12 months will give Cardano a chance to show that it really is living up to all the hype. That's why 2019 could be a really defining moment for Cardano. We've also seen a fall in Cardano's price from well over $1 to just about 4 cents, maybe even under right now, and that is a staggering drop. That's the kind of drop that you can't help but want to go ahead and grab some of those coins because the chance of it rebounding even to 10 cents or 20 cents just seems pretty likely. So we'll just have to see what happens with Cardano, but I can just say that the hype is real and we're all very excited to see what Hoskinson and co are able to come up with. Now, the next is actually a category of coins. It's logistics and supply chain cryptocurrencies. Now, if you follow FUD TV, you know that I'm always pretty excited about these projects. And the reason is because they're generally B2B deals. B2B deals are able to bring a ton of commercial activity over in single sort of deals, right? So you can have two executives in a room, handshake, and with supply chain management, this is a multi-trillion dollar industry where, single big companies can control upwards of tens or hundreds of billions of dollars in supply chain management. And that's what's so amazing about this world, is that individual deals can contribute to so much liquidity and so much economic activity being moved over to the blockchain. Now, in this world, there's a few companies that I'm very excited to see what they do. A couple of them are Chinese companies, and that would be VeChain and WaltonChain. Now, WaltonChain has fallen so hard in its valuation that that's kind of the one that I'm looking at more to buy up, though in all honesty, the partnerships that VeChain has are even more exciting. Regardless, both of these projects look extremely promising, and the fact that they have fallen tremendously in their valuations from earlier in 2018 means that I'm quite excited to see how low they'll go and how low I can scoop up some coins. Now, the other two projects I'm excited about in this space are OriginTrail and Ambrosus. Both of those projects are pretty interesting, definitely smaller caps than VeChain and WaltonChain, but they're all focused on bringing the logistics and supply chain onto the blockchain in a way that's traceable and easy for the consumer to have total transparency into making sure that they have the right products from the right place and that they can track the quality of those items, specifically with food and prescriptions and things that are perishable, all the way from its origin. There's also a focus on luxury goods and art and all that stuff. It's a really cool area of blockchain that I'm very excited about. And I think 2019 will be the year that a lot of this starts to really kick off and a lot of big companies start tracking everything on the blockchain. And these companies are going to be prime targets for that activity. Honorable mention for a fifth place here goes to TE Food. Next, we have to talk about Ethereum. Just like I mentioned with Loom Network adding second layers to Ethereum, there's a lot of progress here regarding the Ethereum project and what may or may not be accomplished in the next 6 to 12 months. We know that Ethereum is launching their Constantinople release soon, which will supposedly increase the amount of TPS it can handle, but we're also looking for Ethereum to launch Casper within the next 12 or so months. And then, of course, we're hoping to see full scaling and sharding come to the network within a year or two. We don't really know what's going on, and we feel like Vitalik and co might be under promising to over deliver. We don't know for sure, but what we do know is that Ethereum, the once most hyped altcoin in all of cryptocurrency, has fallen dramatically, and it is quite possible that Ethereum will plummet in the next 6 to 12 months. And while that plummet might be extremely painful for token holders, I believe that it presents a tremendous opportunity for people to buy up Ethereum coins at a very, very sub-basement, reasonable bargain price. And that's what I'm sort of looking forward to with Ethereum, is a potential plummet in the valuation of Ether. And that would allow for people to buy up this coin at an extreme discount. Now, what that discount looks like, I personally will be looking to buy Ethereum at sub $50 levels. I don't know if that's going to happen, but I will be laying in wait and having some buy orders layered in on the exchange in the event that that does happen. Next on the list is Tron. Now, obviously, Tron and Ethereum have had some tete-a-tetes of recent, as their founders Justin Sun and Vitalik Buterin are not fond of each other. There have been no shortage of allegations towards Tron for plagiarizing white papers and doing other things that other blockchains are very much so not a fan of. But the reality remains that Tron's blockchain is less than 7 months old, and yet it has already accomplished things that took Ethereum and other much older blockchains a significant amount of time. With over 1 million active accounts, it's processing multiple millions of transactions per day, more than the next 4 leading blockchains combined. It's got almost 100 dApps on it already. And obviously, you could argue that the quality of those dApps need to improve, but they have some massive partnerships in the works, like their partnership with Binance to launch the BitTorrent token in the next couple of days. And that's because Tron bought BitTorrent just a few months ago and is integrating their file transfer protocol into Tron, along with their user base of almost 100 million. There's a lot going on with the Tron project. There's a lot to be excited about. And whether you like Justin Sun and his style of marketing Tron or not, you can't deny the usage and utility and just the sheer activity on that blockchain. That's why I think Tron might be in for a huge 2019. Next up, we have payment rails, and that is, of course, XRP and Stellar Lumens. Starting with XRP, we know that trade wars between US and China have created even more tension and will potentially even slow down the transfer of goods and services and most likely money between the two countries. As trade wars and nationalism explode across the globe, the need for a cross-border remittances service, like Ripple is providing, is only increased. The only caveat with XRP is that it's not necessarily included in all of Ripple's partnerships. But as Brad Garlinghouse, the CEO of Ripple, would say, this is sort of a crawl, walk, run sort of situation, where first they get people using Ripple's services, and then they get people using the XRP token and XRapid, which is their service that utilizes the XRP token. Regardless, cross-border remittances services, blockchain-based ones, are only growing in their relevance, and hopefully they will start serving a wider and wider audience of banks and transfer services. Now, another player in this game is XLM, or Stellar Lumens, which was actually created by the same person who originally created XRP. Stellar Lumens is set up a little differently than XRP and has slightly different mission. Stellar Lumens is focused a lot on decentralized exchange and banking the unbanked and the underbanked. And while Ripple also has those functionalities, they just have a little bit of a different ethos within the companies, and Ripple is more of a for-profit entity, whereas Stellar Organization is a non-profit. Regardless, what I've seen here is that whenever Ripple pumps, Stellar pumps, and when Ripple dumps, Stellar dumps. They pretty much trade in unison, with Stellar being worth almost exactly 50% of Ripple at any given moment. So investing into one or the other tends to get you about the same percentage increases. We will see how it plays out over the next 6 to 12 months, but these projects are pretty ingrained in the holy grail of cryptocurrency, and that doesn't seem to be changing anytime soon. Oh, returning to XRP for just a second, Binance recently announced that they're going to be adding XRP as a base pair for certain trading pairs. And that was while XRP had overtaken Ethereum for the #2 cryptocurrency spot, which it's not currently holding, but could easily change back. Next, we have Onotology. Now, Onotology is the last altcoin, hint, hint, on the list. And the reason why I saved it to the last is because I think Onotology is really primed up for an amazing 2019. Ontology is a trust network, but it's also a DApp and ICO platform. Ontology is like this future-leaning piece of blockchain infrastructure that allows for compliance and regulation, transparency, really allowing these blockchain projects to play by the rules of traditional society, whether that's integrating with your identity, your insurance, your driver's records, banking. A lot of these sort of traditional pillars of our society, you can actually access and integrate through Ontology. And that was really the point of Ontology, was to act as a trust protocol layer between the blockchain world and the non-blockchain world. Now, what's so exciting about Ontology is that they're developing their own protocol for STOs. Now, I'm sure you've heard a lot of the hype around security token offerings coming onto the blockchain, and Ontology is setting themselves up to be a prime player in this game. Right now, Ontology has fallen to well under $1, almost about 50 cents if it goes any lower, and that is prime prices for Ontology. Now, does that mean it can't fall any lower? No, but I'm super excited to be buying Ontology and getting ready for it to make a significant comeback and show its might as a player in the STO, ICO, and blockchain infrastructure game. We all know that Ontology has some working relationship with official Chinese entities, with different kinds of governmental bodies. You can't really do the things they're doing without some kind of at least informal working relationship with government bodies. It'll be really interesting to see if Ontology potentially positions themselves as a sort of official Chinese entity in the near future. And finally, last but definitely not least, is the Big Daddy, Big Papa Bitcoin. That's right, Bitcoin is facing what seems like another death, and this on its 10th anniversary of the Genesis block. We all know that Bitcoin has been proven almost beyond doubt. There's not been a single fraudulent transaction on Bitcoin's network in the last 10 years, and that's unbelievable. It's such an accomplishment of computer science, and the Bitcoin network, the Bitcoin mining network, it's only grown dramatically year over year. That's what's so exciting about Bitcoin, is this is a truly global decentralized movement, and it's looking like it could potentially displace gold as a global reserve currency, maybe not in the next 6 months, but over the next few years to decades. That's an insane transition in human history, and to be able to buy Bitcoin at depressed prices, whether that's $3,000 or $6,000 or $1,000, wherever it goes, I think that we'll be looking at some incredible buying opportunities for Bitcoin in the next 3 to 6 to 12 months. And while it might not pay off in the next year, it'll certainly be one of those bets that I don't think you'll look back on and feel badly about in 5 or 10 years. And that's what's so exciting about Bitcoin, is not necessarily that we're going to get an ETF, not necessarily that we're going to get physically delivered Bitcoin futures or any of these other sort of hyped things that people like to talk about, but it's the chance to really just buy it for a cheap price, because I do believe that over time it will prove itself out as digital gold. Honorable mention on the list is, of course, my own coin, my own project called EVO, which is the dApp Evolution ecosystem. We're building an ecosystem of dApps that we believe are going to appeal to a much wider audience than the current ecosystem of dApps. I encourage you to read our white paper and support our project at dappevolution.com. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this list of the top 10 coins for 2019. Obviously, this is not an exhaustive list of coins. There are so many projects in cryptocurrency, thousands of them, that I couldn't possibly cover them all in a simple list. But these are coins that I'm quite excited about for the next 6-12 months, because either they're presenting tremendous buying opportunities or they'll be advancing to incredible points of power within the cryptocurrency and blockchain industry. Anyway, let me know what you guys thought about this list. Did I miss any coins? What is your top 10 list? Let me know in the comments section below. As usual, thanks for watching the video. Leave me a like or a comment. And of course, if you're not subscribed to the channel, hit that sub button. I'm Elio Trades, you're watching FUD TV, and I'll see you very soon on the next episode.